Hi, it's Kathleen from Bailey Academy. Mom of 5, homeschooling 3 of them, ages 11, 14, and 18. And that's the last time I'll probably be saying that, because unless I say it over the summer, because my 18-year-old has officially graduated grade 12. Well, we haven't had the graduation party, but she's officially done school. And so I now have 1 homeschool graduate and 3 graduates total out of those 5. And 2 more to go. So that's exciting. Today I wanted to share our summer plans and what's just, in general, what's going on in our summer. So first of all, we don't really do much traveling or things like that. Budget-wise, not a thing we can do. But we will be doing some fun things over the summer for sure. My parents have a local campsite that they have like an RV at, so we can sometimes visit there, and the kids can swim in the pool and stuff like that. But yeah, most of us like to just kind of veg at home, or go outside, play with the dog in the little kiddie pool, or play with the sprinkler, or go for a little walk in the park. But for the most part, we just sort of hang out at home, and most of us like that. And so my youngest has a summer camp coming up, and not until August, but she has a 2-week day summer camp coming up that last year she's eligible for, so she's going to do that. And my 18-year-old is going to be traveling and also helping run a camp for those who have juvenile arthritis, which she also has, so she'll be doing that. And so she has some plans for sure this summer. And I don't know anybody else's plans necessarily yet. Some of us, like I said, most of just, as we go, kind of come up with stuff. So those are the only plans that are in place right now. And so for summer learning, we don't homeschool year-round necessarily, but we do like to take our break and have time for me to prep for the next year and stuff like that. But sometimes, last couple of years, sometimes we did like a little, like 1 or 2 week bit of learning for like an hour sort of thing, just to keep it up. This year we're going to do 4 weeks of a little bit of formal learning. Main reasoning being that from February to June, which is when we finished school, we didn't really do as much as we should have, and there's some things that I wanted to focus on that we either are going to be new for the school year, or we just hadn't gone around to actually doing, and we need to get around to actually doing them. So what I did was I found on iCalendars.net a July-August 2025, because that's our summer calendar, and I marked off when we're doing our graduation, when we start school again, and her little summer camp. And so I found a 4-week section, then I just locked it off as SL for summer learning. So we're going to do 4 weeks, 5 days a week, but it's mostly stuff they can do on their own, or a few things that they need my help for. Like, it's just like, I can't imagine it being more than an hour of work at the most. If they do it without fooling around, it should be pretty quick. And then they're free for the day. So I made them the first week charts for them to check off as they do it. And I didn't print all 4 weeks yet, because just in case I need to adjust something. I'll go through what they're doing. So first of all, they both have math written down. Now, math is just to keep the learning from kind of disappearing or dissipating over the summer. But specifically, with my daughter, I want to focus on fractions and decimals, because we can't really move on until she understands that, and she's still struggling with some fraction and decimal parts. And so we decided that next year we might go back to, like, we're doing Learn Math Fast normally, so we may go back and do the book that we just did again, because I think we went too forward too fast. But we'll see how this goes. So I found online a fractions and decimals book. It's not a workbook. It's more like a book you read to learn, make sure you understand fractions and decimals. I don't know. We're going to go through that, and if she needs worksheets to practice, there's plenty of those online for free, and she's going to practice that sort of thing. I also have plenty of old workbooks. Like, this is from her grade 4 year that we didn't finish, so if it has fraction or decimal pages that we didn't do, she could easily do one of those to give it a little extra practice. And then my son, I have some like grade 7 and 8 maybe math books if we need to pull something from that, but I'd rather save that for my younger daughter in case she needs them. But yeah, so they're both going to do math. My daughter, fractions and decimals. My son, I'm not entirely sure yet, but he's doing really good in math, but he still struggles a little bit with some of those math facts. Well, they both do, so we might do something with math facts too. So I'm not entirely completely planned on what's going to be used for that, but that's the plan. That made no sense, but you know what I mean. We're also going to do cursive because we did cursive a couple years ago for a little bit. We didn't finish it, decided we weren't ready for it, and wanted to move on. So we're going to go back to it. And I have a couple cursive resources, and I don't know which one we're using yet. So this is the one we used before, cursive handwriting workbook. It says ages 6 to 9, but that's just because that's when they expect you to learn cursive for kids. Modern Kid Press there. Got it from Amazon. I should have 2 of them somewhere around here. I'm not sure where the other one went. So they mostly used the beginning part, but we may use the part where it's like a full word once we get to them. And I also have the same one for teens that I had got my older kids, and they decided they knew cursive enough and don't need to practice. So I have one of those, so they could each use those as a possibility. I also have Spectrum Cursive Writing. They're all basically the same. And Canadian Daily Cursive Writing Practice. So I gotta look through these in the next couple weeks and figure out where I want to start, who's going to use what book, that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm hoping that now that they're older and their handwriting in general, or their printing has gotten better, that they will be able to learn cursive if they just give it a practice every day for 4 weeks. I'm hoping that will help solidify it, and then we'll decide from there if we need to keep doing cursive in the new year. I'm assuming 4 weeks is not enough to like fully learn cursive, so maybe just a little like page every day sort of thing. My daughter is going to do typing. She's not a fast enough typer as far as I'm concerned, and because of possible dysgraphia, she uses computers for a lot of her written work, and so we're going to work typing skills 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm open to suggestions. I know there's lots of free online typing programs. We're definitely using a free one. I just don't know which one is best for slow internet and possibly dysgraphia. So if that makes a difference and you like, oh yeah, that's why we use this one, please let me know. So some sort of typing program. And then the Thursday, Friday that she doesn't do typing, we're going to practice spelling. So she's gotten really good with her spelling, like caught up to where she should be. So I just want to keep it going because we're still like, lots of words that she could learn. So I got this Practice Your Spelling Activity Book 5. This is an old thing that I got for free from somebody. And so it has a couple of them written in, but most of it is not used. And it like the different units are like, A-E words, I-E-O-E, or E-R words, A-U words. So it's broken up by that sort of thing. So I think a page or two, because really small, of these might be a good thing to use. I don't know what else I'm going to use it for, so that's probably what we're going to use. Then 2 more things. I've been learning about narration and how it's used in Charlotte Mason liked the idea of narration and using it in homeschool. Well, I didn't say that right, but you know what I mean. Like, people use it in homeschool. And I've heard lots about it from other homeschool YouTubers who use narration, but I didn't know everything about narration, and I didn't know something very important that I learned from Know and Tell by Karen Glass. That book is awesome. I got it for Mother's Day after I asked for it, and I will be doing a review and video talk about that book eventually once I have some other books, and I wanted to do it all at once. And so we're going to be doing narration in our next school year. So I wanted to we already talked about what like narration was, because my kids are older, right? So the book talks about what to do when they're older. Talked about what narration was, and what I decided to use is I have this cover-to-cover reading comprehension and fluency book. We're not going to use it the way it's meant to, but each one is like, okay, so this has a little introduction. I'm going to ignore that. This is A Cure for Aging. So I'm going to pick one. They're both going to read it that day, ignore the questions, and then they're going to just narrate for me what they read. So it's very short, so we can get the idea of, you know, narrating. So that we're gonna see how that goes. So they have to read it on their own and then come find me and narrate for me. Oh, I forgot this. Sorry, I forgot this one for my son. So my son doesn't do typing and spelling, so I was trying to make it, you know, he still has some work to do. So I have this daily 7 to 8 summer activities that I bought before for when he was going from grade 7 to grade 8. We never used it, and I wanted this work to become somewhat easier. So he's gonna use this every day as well. So I just haven't decided if he can pick his own page or if I'm gonna pick which ones I want him to do. That's geography, spelling, vocabulary, writing, mostly those. Some mind jigglers, it's called. Language lines, I don't know. So I'm going to pick some, and he's going to do a page from there as well. The last thing is going to be, we're going to be participating in the Great Canadian Summer Quest, and this is by Lisa Marie Fletcher from the Canadian Homeschooler. She is a blogger friend, but also just an amazing homeschooler who's really trying to make sure that Canadian homeschoolers can get help when they need it. She wrote How to Homeschool in Canada, which is an awesome book. I've read it. And if you're brand new to homeschooling in Canada, that book, highly recommend. Her website has lots of cool resources, and she has some curriculum of her own that she's designed. So this that I'm talking about is a free summer challenge, I guess you'd call it. And just a second, I'm going to find the information so I can read it to you to not mess it up. Okay, so I'm looking down to read off my phone. Join this free 8-week summer adventure for kids across Canada, starting June 30th, 2025. What's included? Weekly themes specifically related to Canada, including nature, history, creativity, and more. An intro video each week, which explains the theme and the challenges, and it gives you a variety of challenges related to the week's theme that you can pick and choose from. Weekly printables, including challenge trackers and completion badges. So it's designed that if you do 3 challenges a week, you earn a badge. So what I did was, on their sheet, I wrote Summer Quest on the bottom, and I made it one full length. And so they have to do 3 challenges of their choosing from each week, at least the 4 weeks that we're doing homeschool. But they can pick from older ones if they want, because this is obviously starting before we start. And I don't care where they get it from, as long as they're doing 3 challenges a week, and their choice. And they might be things like, I don't know what exactly it's going to be, but it might be like, you know, read a book or watch a video or play outside. I have no idea. This is just guessing here, but it's designed for ages, any age, and they'll be there until like a little while after September. So if you don't, if you're busy a little bit or you're still doing school, like you can do it whenever you want. It's just that each week will drop like 1 week at a time. And then also there is printable options. So like if say you're going to go to camp 1 week and you won't have internet access, you can print the week right when it starts, right before you go, and take it with the stuff with you to do. So I will link her blog and that challenge down below in the description, as well as probably name these books that I was talking about in case you were interested in those books. But that is basically what our summer is looking like. I'd also like to encourage them to read, but my kids just aren't much readers, and so I don't want to force them during summer to read. I'm hoping they'll pick up some books on their own, which does occasionally happen. So let's see, is there anything else? It's very, 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 very hot here, as well as a lot of Canada and some parts of the States. And so yesterday it was like 39, feeling like 48 or something like that. And for those of my US viewers, 48 felt like 48. That was 118 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, it's very hot here. So we've been just staying inside. Well, not really. We had to take the kids to work, but like trying to stay inside as much as we can. So it's been a little crazy. So yeah, that is it for our summer plans. Let me know what you're doing for summer, or share if you have a video on your channel about your summer plans. I would love to check it out if I haven't already. And so let me know. That's it. Bye.